today we're going to be talking about 3 lifestyle habits that are not really helping you achieve your fitness goals and how to avoid them. So I'm really excited to dive in. But the very first thing is, and you're probably going to already know this one if you have been listening to the last few episodes, but the very first thing, and again, or not again, but none of these tips are in order, but I'm just going to list them off. But the very first thing is lack of sleep. So this is something that I didn't really focus on for a long time because I was busy. I was working a lot. I remember when I very first started just getting really serious about my fitness journey, and it was like 2015. I was working 2 jobs. So I would be working, and I'm just putting this into context so you kind of get an idea of like what my life was like. But I would work for like 9 or 10 hours. I would work my day job. I'd go home and get ready. And then I would get all dressed up and I would drive. I used to work these like underground poker parties, and I worked them because the cash was really good and I needed all of the funds I could get to pay my rent. Los Angeles is not cheap. I was like 25 years old. So I would go and I would work all night. I think my shift would start like 8 p.m. So I'd get home at 6. I would have a couple hours. I would drive an hour, get ready really fast, drive an hour, start my shift at like 8 p.m. And then I would work. Sometimes I would work until, on a weekend where I didn't have to work my day job, because you guys, I would work 7 days a week or 6 days a week, 6 or 7 days a week. I was like burnt out, but I would work until sometimes 10 a.m. the next day. That's if I didn't have to work my day job. Otherwise, I would work until like 2 or 3 a.m. Sometimes I would get home at like 4 or 5 a.m. By the time I like unwound and got my ass in bed, it would be like 5 a.m. And then I'd have to wake up at like 7:30, 8 a.m. and get ready for my day job and then go to work. Like that was my life. And it was brutal because I was also trying to get in shape. I would be trying to make time to go to the gym. And sometimes I'd go to the gym on my lunch break at work, and I was just so exhausted. And I'm telling you this from experience, but when you are overworked and when you're not getting enough sleep and you are just in this constant like fight or flight, when your body is in this constant fight or flight, it is not doing your fitness goals any justice. And sometimes at this point, like, when I think back, I'm like, wow, it's always such a simple thing that you can do that's going to make a difference. But had I have just obviously changed my work schedule, that would have been amazing. But sometimes you can't, right? So it's like sometimes you have to let your body rest. Like maybe had I have had a nap, just taken a nap on my lunch break instead of force my body to just keep going, that could have just helped my overall fitness goals, because it's not healthy to be in this state of fight or flight. Your cortisol levels are going to be a lot higher. The lack of sleep just throws your hunger response completely out of whack, and you're going to be eating things that you're not really, that you maybe normally wouldn't eat. You're going to be snacking more. You're just going to be feeling all fudged, right? So it's important that you are getting enough sleep and that you're really making that a focus. And maybe that means that you are taking a nap instead of going to the gym if that's what you have to do. Or maybe that means after work, you're just, whatever you have to do to get some sleep in is going to be really beneficial for your overall fitness goals, because your body really, really does need sleep in order to physically achieve that physical goal that you want. It's so important. So sleep is really, really important. And it's important for your blood sugar management too, right? Like they go hand in hand. So the next thing is overtraining. And first of all, before we go into overtraining, I just want you to think about like if you're looking at your life right now and you're like, man, I need to get a little bit more sleep. Like my schedule is crazy, or maybe you have little kids running around and you're like, yeah, I really need to focus on that a little bit more. Then what can you do in your own life right now that can help you just get a little bit more sleep? And maybe it's not even about getting more sleep. Maybe it's about getting more quality sleep. So maybe it's, limiting your screen time, limiting the amount of coffee that you're drinking. Maybe it is taking melatonin, which is a natural supplement. Like just think about what in your life can you do that will help maybe not solve the issue completely, but put you one step forward in really getting a little bit better quality sleep, a little bit more sleep, whatever that looks like for you. What can you do right now in your own life that will help you in that area? Okay, so moving on to overtraining. Overtraining causes stress on the body, and this is something that I didn't know for a really long time, because if I look back on my life, there was so many days that I would be exhausted, that my body would be sore from the gym in general, that I would just be really feeling like a bus hit me. But my mind would be saying, Tasha, you need to work out. Like, you want to get in shape, you need to exercise. So I would completely let my mind take over and I would not listen to my body. And this is going to put you in a really difficult place when it comes to achieving your fitness goals, because your body needs proper rest and recovery in order to repair and rebuild your muscle tissue and just really put your body in that optimal place that's going to help you achieve your goals. So making sure that you're getting enough rest and recovery is going to be so important. And whether like maybe your goal is to build muscle, this is just as important. If your goal is fat loss, this is just important. No matter what your physical goal is, making sure that you're allowing proper rest and recovery is going to be so crucial. And it might mean that you're having that battle with your mind where you're thinking, okay, my body's telling me that I need to rest right now, but I need to exercise because I want to get fit. And your mind's telling you that in order to be fit, you have to exercise. It might mean having that battle, because I've had that battle so many times. I even to this day still have that battle with my mind because I'm such a like go-getter type of person. But what happens, like when you are stuck in this position, if your body, you really need to listen to your body. If your body's telling you, hey bitch, you need to just rest. You need to you're exhausted. You've been working, you're tired. You haven't been getting enough sleep. You need to look at all of your lifestyle habits. What does it look like? Are you just feeling lazy? Because that's different than feeling full on like exhausted and overworked and stressed. Like if you're feeling lazy, then yeah, push yourself. Go to the gym, go for a walk, whatever it is. But if you are just if your body is telling you, I need to take a break, take a break. It's going to do your body so much better, even if you have like a set goal and a set amount of days that you're working out, or you have a set number of steps or cardio calories that you're trying to burn. Throw that out the window if your body is legit telling you that you need to rest, because when your body's telling you that, the amount of rest and recovery that you get when you need it is going to really, really help you achieve your goals in the long span of things. So that is so, so important. And I didn't know that for so long. And I actually got really bad overuse injuries from pushing my body too much. And if you get an injury, that's going to set you back. So really making it a priority to listen to your body is going to be so important. And it's such a thing that's often overlooked. So really listening to your body. So if you look at your life right now, like where in your personal life, in your current routine, can you schedule in proper rest and recovery? Like if you look at everything that you're doing, and this is why we're all so different, because our lifestyles are completely different. And if you and I are set up the exact, like we have the exact same workout routine that we're following and we're trying to burn the same amount of calories, but I'm over here juggling two different jobs. I'm up all night, like, and you, on the other hand, are just working, maybe you work like 4 hours a day and you're just more relaxed and you have more time and you feel good, then it's going to be different in how we set up our programs in order to achieve the goals that we want. Because for someone who, and I'm not saying that I have a ton of life stress right now or work stress, because that's what my life looked like back then, but this is just an example. For someone who has a lot of stress, mental stress, physical stress, and we're going to be going into life stressors after, which is the third thing. But for someone who has a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stress, high stress life, then it's really important that maybe that person sets up their routine in a way that allows more time to rest and recover so that they can get like a really optimal result, that their body isn't being pushed too hard. You know what I mean? Because it's really important that you are allowing enough rest and recovery. And for someone who, finds it really hard to get a lot of sleep and is just overworked in general, then applying the same amount of physical stress on their body really is not going to be optimal. So really looking at your life, where in your life can you kind of cut back a little bit to ensure that you are getting optimal rest and recovery that will support your future physical goals. And this might even mean like, if you're the kind of person that's doing a bunch of cardio and you know that as a fact and you feel burnt out, can you cut that back a little bit? Like just look at your current routine and see where you might be able to cut back. Or if you're working out every single day, maybe you don't need to be working out every single day. Can you work out like 4 days a week or 3 days a week and really schedule in those days where you're allowing your body to properly rest and recover so that you can actually get the results that you want? So where in your life can you just kind of cut back a little bit or really make time for proper rest and recovery? So moving on to number 3, which is life stressors. So life stressors, this could go to, your job, your financial situation, your relationships, maybe even your body image is stressing you out. Stress is one of those lifestyle habits that you really want to minimize as much as you possibly can. Granted, you don't always have control over all of the stresses happening in your life, and throwing in blood sugar management on top of that, that's a stress in itself. So stress can really make it a lot more challenging to effectively reach your goals and to get the optimal results out of what you're doing, because the more stress that's applied on your body when your goal is whatever your goal may be, whether it's gaining muscle, losing weight, like whatever it is, maintaining your goals, the more stress that's applied on your body, the harder it is going to be in order to reach these goals that you've set for yourself. So it's looking at, not just your life stressors, like that's a big one, but also your physical stress, which we covered, making sure that you're getting proper recovery, but all of the stressors in your life. So just looking at them and really minimizing them as best as you possibly can. And part of this is just becoming more aware of them, because I think so often we just get so wrapped up in our day-to-day life that we don't really realize the things that we're doing are actually causing more stress on our body than there needs to be, right? And so looking at these areas, and maybe this pandemic, maybe quarantine has given you a chance to, like, it's forced you to kind of slow down. And maybe that alone has been one positive aspect where you can look at and be like, wow, I didn't know that I was doing all of these things. I didn't realize that I was applying all of this stress on my body. And maybe you don't need to do that moving forward. Maybe that was just one thing that happened that you can be like, hey, that's a takeaway, right, from this whole entire pandemic, because you really do want to minimize the amount of stress that's applied on your body, because stress increases cortisol levels in the body. It makes it really difficult to achieve your fitness goals, and it causes your blood sugars to remain higher. And so it's important to really keep this in mind and minimize all stress that's happening in your life as best as possible. Mental stress, emotional stress, physical stress, any stressors that's happening in your life. So if you look at your life right now, where in your life can you practice mindfulness? Does that help? Like if you were to just take a couple seconds, a couple minutes out of your day to just really get into a place of like relaxation. I have a gratitude meditation that I used to use every single day, because back in the day when I was working a corporate job, my stress levels were pretty high. I did not have the luxury of just being on my own schedule, and I was juggling so many different things, and my stress was really, really elevated. And I would take a few minutes out of my day to really practice gratitude, and having like a guided meditation was something that helped me just put me in that state. So if you want to check out the gratitude meditation, you can download it inside of my inspiration library. You'll find it in there. I'll link it in the show notes, but it's diabeticfitnessworld.com that's the wrong URL. It's tajakato.com/inspiration, but I'll link to it below. But just maybe practicing mindfulness. Do you think that that might be able to help you? Can you make a list of all of your to-dos? Like make a mess list of everything that you need to do, just to like get it out of your mind and on paper, because sometimes that can help. Can you communicate with people more of like anything that's going on? If it has to do with your relationships, communication can sometimes be helpful. If it has to do with body image, can you find a program, a coach, maybe a new workout routine that you enjoy? Just something to help you feel like you're on the path towards making that positive change that you want. So if you think about your life right now, like what can you do? What is one, and maybe you don't need to tackle them all at once, right? But like, is there one area out of all the stressors in your life that you can kind of focus on? And what is that one thing that you can do right now that'll help you just minimize it a little bit more? All right. So that's going to be really helpful. But these 3 lifestyle habits are going to support your fitness goals so much and help you get to that success that you want. It'll help you reach the success that you want with your fitness. And there are things that you should really take into account when it comes to your fitness. And I guarantee, like just from my own experience, when I started really being mindful and being aware of these 3 lifestyle habits in my own life, it changed everything for me. Because not only was I more energized, I was getting better workouts, my blood sugars were better. I was just able to start thinking more clear. I was feeling more refreshed. And then I started seeing the results, right? Like I started seeing that I was building muscle, and my clothes were fitting differently, and just so many things. And and even if you don't start with all 3 of these things, I mean, now that you have them in your back pocket, even if you were to just focus on one of them for right now, I guarantee it's going to help you and help support your goals along the way and in the future, your future fitness goals. So I hope you found this episode helpful today, and I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye for now.